Alright, the M60. It has been in service since 1957 and remains so. It's most commonly associated with the Vietnam War and that genre of film. But beyond that, it's one of the most iconic general-purpose machine guns in the movies. Its sheer size and ability to be operated by one person has lent itself to being an iconic action movie staple, featured in Rambo and Commando, all the way to Batman one-handing it in Dawn of Justice. And with such broad use in 1980s action movies, it's no wonder this weapon has also been a favorite for action satires.
Try to stay in character. Remember, we're on camera.
This thing's too heavy. I want the rubber one that the prop guy gave me. Where's the prop guy? Okay. I'm here. Terrorist Mountain.
Of course, Vietnam War movies make up the dominant use of this weapon, so let's take a closer look at the history of the M60. The inspiration for the M60 was born out of World War II. The American Army was impressed by the rate of fire of German machine guns. Both the MG-34 and later in the war, the MG-42, all had substantially higher rates of fire than anything the Allies fielded. The MG-42 would be studied by Army engineers after the war, along with the German FG-42, which are both said to have inspired developmental aspects of the M60.
Imagine an M60 for Jesus!
All right! Alamo!
During World War II, America's primary light support machine gun was the B.A.R, which was already showing its age at the beginning of World War II and was not at all a purpose-built light machine gun. The US Army was also looking to replace the M1919 medium machine gun. The M60 gave the American Army a long overdue general-purpose machine gun, one with a somewhat quick barrel change system that was made in America.
Come to get you out of here.
You're American?
Yes, from America. Let's go.
In 1965, at the Battle of Ia Valley, the M60 would see one of its first major engagements against the People's Army of Vietnam. During the battle, it would prove to be significantly effective at holding flanks, as well as effective from the air on Huey helicopters. William Parrish of Charlie Company was awarded a Silver Star for suppressing an intense North Vietnamese assault using an M60 during the battle.
Oh, you seen much combat?
I've seen a little on TV.
The M60 would take on every role a machine gun could play during the war, with its versatility being one of its greatest strengths. The M60 was mounted on boats, trucks, jeeps, APCs, everything. Squads could have one or two M60s, with the M60 gun team being made up of an assistant gunner and designated ammunition bearer. And like in the movies, the ammunition was usually carried around the neck for quick access and to free up a soldier's hands. Surprisingly, it's not just to look cool.
Can you bring me the gun of Rambo?
Part 1, 2, or 3?
I've only seen part 1.
The M60. Would you like the armor-piercing bullets?
Please.
So did soldiers like using the M60? The M60 is an odd weapon in that it gets a lot of mixed reviews from veterans. Even though it wasn't too heavy for its size, it wasn't a pleasure to hump through the jungle either. Of course, some soldiers complained it was too light, with thin metal parts that were easily damaged. It was also said to be mechanically simple, but yet had some annoyances, such as the safety working opposite of the M16's, which under stress can cause some serious problems when switching weapons. The quick change barrel system also proved a frustration, and could not be easily executed in combat. The spare barrels were also cumbersome to carry.
Let's see who drops first, me or you.
Hey, whoa, that's just...
For those carrying spare barrels, the barrel had to be lugged around with a gas block and piston assembly and bipod legs permanently affixed to it. Imagine how frustrating it would be to lug these through the jungle on top of everything else. Another chief complaint was that if the M60 was not properly maintained, the gun could practically disassemble itself through constant vibration. Amazingly, some Marines preferred using their ancient Browning automatic rifles over the M60. But the M60 has been used by over 30 nations, including Australia, who used it successfully in Vietnam. So what were some of the positives of this machine gun? It could fire between 550 and 650 rounds per minute, using NATO rounds, had an effective firing range of 800 meters, or 1,100 meters if using a tripod. It was comfortable, with a rubberized foregrip, and easy to use pistol grip. Soldiers also liked the sling mount and good sights. It was relatively comfortable to fire from the hip or shoulder, though with poor accuracy. Best accuracy was achieved by firing 3 to 5 round bursts from a mounted position.
Going and going. Nothing outlasting.
Overall in film, this weapon is used quite accurately. Even in the sillier films, characters can be seen ensuring proper feeding of ammunition using their offhand. In the more serious war films, the weapon is frequently seen as a valued source of suppressing fire. Most movies also include the importance of the assistant gunner. One awkward aspect of this weapon on film is its occasional use by maniacs. Hollywood enjoys giving high-powered large weapons to maniacs, such as, say, Dolph Lundgren, twice, or most notably, the door gunner in Full Metal Jacket. Obviously, this is a scene meant to showcase a casual sentiment towards war crimes, a theme often covered in Vietnam movies. But I'm highlighting this scene in particular after speaking with a Vietnam veteran who made an interesting point about it and scenes like it. The majority of GIs in Vietnam were normal Americans, legally bound to serve in this war, and did their best to do so honorably. So though it's important to highlight that war crimes did take place, such as in this scene, it's also important to remember that it's unfair to normalize this caricature, which can understandably be offensive to some veterans.
That's all I have to say about that.
So is the M60 a good gun? It gave a long service during a long war and beyond. It wasn't perfect, but through upgrades has held its own, even serving alongside its successor, the M249 light machine gun. The M60 today can still be spotted in American service in the Navy and Coast Guard. Alright, I'm Johnny. Thanks for watching this amateur brief on the M60 and some of the films it was featured in. Please feel free to add or expand on anything in the comment section below, and have a nice day.